Well, today we're going to be looking at Bergara's new Crest rifle. This is the carbon version. Absolutely fantastically lightweight stalking rifle. Carbon fibre stock with the RTM resin method. Carbon fibre wrap barrel. All the rage these days, but this one really shoots. We tested its little brother the other day, and that was in the farmhole stock. This is now with the more traditional sporter stock. So we're going to take it out, shoot some factory and reloads like we normally do, and then go after Chinese water deer at the end of the season. Right, we're down on the range and we're going to test a variety of factory lead cord and copper through the Bergara Crest at 100 yards, and we'll see how it performs. And first up we've got the Federal, the 150 grain typical soft point lead cord bullets, and let's see how they shoot. Got the nice FX true ballistic chronograph set up. Uh, 2740. .2696. Very comfortable stock here off the bench. And that's 2738. 2738, and 100 yards we've got. Oh, that's lovely. That's under a minute angle. Very nice. Okay, next up is one of my real favourites. That's a Hornadays International load. It shoots the ECX bullet, which had the flat tip on it, which I really like for, well, all species of deer here in Britain. Small species all the way to red. You see me shoot a variety of game with it. It's a 125 grain bullet. Gives you good velocities and really good accuracy. So I'll be very interested to see how it shoots in the Bergara. Just switch the chronograph on. There we go. Right. I am a little low because they're going a bit high on here. Ooh, 2993. $2997. 2997. Let's see if we can get 3,000. That'd be lovely. Oh, that's. Yeah, 3001. That's lovely, fantastic. And that is, well, it's about an inch and a quarter. Okay, I mean, you know, some guns prefer it, some guns don't. But, you know, there you go. Right, we've got another Hornaday here. It's a typical SST lead cord bullet, another really good all-round performer. And this is a 165 grain bullet weight. I'll say I really like the ease. We've got this ambidextrous magazine release there. It's fantastic, isn't it? Really, really nice. Anyway, let's crack on, see what the velocities are on this. 100 yards shooting. Yeah, a little bit more recoil on that. That's 2737. .2759. Oh, that's nice and consistent. 2759. And last shot. 2751. That's very consistent. And let's see what the accuracy is. 100. Nice. That is below MOA. Perfect. Fantastic. Well, let's look at another lead-free load. This is Seiko's Powerhead blade. They're a little bit heavier, 162, and these are very good performers as well. Always had consistent results. I'll be interested to see how they shoot. Very nice slick bolt on this Bergara. And the carbon fibre is such, I mean, it's lightweight in the field, but it's really nice to shoot off the bench as well. Right, anyway, let's go on. 2568. 2568. Two 554. And last shot. 2571. 2571, and again, mid angle group, fantastic. A really good performance here from the carbon fibre wrap barrel. Yeah, very, very nice, very consistent. Right, down to the last two factory, and we've got Cerakote's traditional game head bullet, nice soft point lead cord bullet, very well made. These when I shot these, I tend to reload the brass on these, very good, and the holiday brass is very good as well. And I like the 123 grains in these game heads, but I've actually sadly run out, so we'll have to use the 150 grain, which is a good all-rounder. So let's have a look. Oh, I didn't get velocity on that one. Go across. Uh, 2759. 2759. And one more. See, Steiner optics are very clear as well. 2784. 2784, and that's an inch and a bit, I think that one. That's, to be fair, still very, very good. Right, let's go on to the last round, and that's a lead-free round. That's Norma's Eco Strike. Again, these I get sort of mixed results with these, but it's very interesting to see because you never know. Each test rifle is different. You have these nicely washed bullet heads here, and the green tip. And this is another 150 grain, isn't it? Yeah, 150 grain, or 9.7 grams if you're not imperial. Here we go. Right, last factory. Uh, 2730. 2788. It's very consistent on these velocities on this Bergara. It's very good. There you go. Oh, I can see something there. This is a good group. Come on. 2732. 2732. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. We saved the best to last. That's one big hole, and that's from the Norma Eco Strike. It's funny, isn't it? When you test these rifles, you never know whether it's going to be lead-free or lead-cooled traditional. And I've had mixed results with these Norma, then I've had mixed results with some of these rest of these rounds as well. So I think that's really, really interesting. Anyway, we're going to try just a couple of reloads now, and then we'll take it off and do some deer stalking. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple of reloads for the camera. I do loads off camera for articles, but I just want to give you a rough idea how it's shooting with the light end of the 30 caliber Spectrum in this 308. So we've got some 110 grain GMXs and 41 grains of reloaded 10X, which I like. Slightly short barrel on here. Very interested to see what the velocities are on this. Second shot, it was a little bit long for the magazine, which is quite interesting. Uh, 2880. 80. Well, that's feeling fine. I think that first one's just a tip, just caught the front of that magazine. So that's interesting to know. We'll actually go back. We'll actually see what the overall length of that magazine is, and actually adjust your loads to that, because I was actually using a Stony Point overall length gauge in the chamber and trying to seat those lighter bullets out a little bit further to engage the rifling. Anyway, let's have a go. Oh, it looks like they're both touching, which is nice. And that's 2891. Okay, now I've got some 150 grain Hornaday SSTs, and we're using a load of 46 grains of Reloader 15, and we'll see how they shoot. Again, I've loaded these a little bit long, so I'm going to single shoot them. That's that's quite mild. That's 258. 2528. 2545. I tend to load these a little bit lighter for row in Scotland, so we've got plenty of wiggle room here for the up the powder. There you go, 2548. Again, nice and consistent, 2548, and that's a minute of Angle Group. I'm going to shoot the best performing ammunition in the factory ammo, and that was the Norma Eco Strike. So let's see at 200 yards how it shoots. We'll do a 3-shot group, and I'll go for the body first. There's a little bit of wind, so it may drift a little bit left, but I'm not going to correct for it. Yeah, nice, good solid hit. I think it's an incredibly stable platform, this Bergara. This stock's lovely. I prefer a thumb hole, but this is, I've got to say, I think it's actually more stable. Yep, another good hit. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good group actually, at 200 yards. We had a fantastic evening last night with the new Bergara Crest. Absolutely superb performance out after Chinese water deer. We got this fabulous buck over 175 yards away. It really performed fantastically. I'm very, very pleased with it. It's a lightweight, really accurate rifle from Bergara and a very good value point as well. Anyway, let's go and do the in-depth look at it now and tear it apart. Great, so let's have a nice close look up at the Bergara Crest Carbon version. We actually looked at its similar brother the other day, and that was the carbon fibre wrap barrel and the thumb hole stock, and that's the Wilderness model. So this is the Crest model, and we'll just show you a few little differences, but not go into too much detail because we've done it with the B14 Wilderness earlier. This, as you can see, is obviously called the Carbon because it not only has a carbon fibre wrap barrel here, but you actually have a more sporter, semi-tactical style carbon fibre stock, whereas the Wilderness has a polymer stock. Although this doesn't have an adjustable cheek piece here, whereas the Wilderness does have an adjustable cheek piece. Overall length for the whole rifle is 40 inches because in 308 calibre here we have it as a 20-inch barrel, which is very, very nice. And as I said, 100% carbon fibre stock and that carbon fibre wrap barrel, making it just a really nice, handy and quite light. It's 2.9 kilogram, not the lightest, but still a very nice portable and naturally pointing rifle. And Bergara have a very good knack of doing these type of rifles. You actually do a lot of stalking that I do and actually take it out in the field hunting. I like a thumb hole stock, but it just feels very natural. It's just a very nicely put together rifle, I've got to be absolutely honest with you. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at the stock, because that's your kind of main difference and your main feature here on this rifle. So it's 100% carbon fibre. It's a monocoque construction or designed. And it's done by the RTM, or the resin transfer method. And this is where the individual layers of carbon fibre are actually put down dry within a mould, and then the resin is applied sort of layer by layer, and it builds it up into that characteristic shape we have here on the Crest. And to give added rigidity, although carbon fibre is very rigid, as you know, and very strong and light, you actually have a carbon fibre spine, which adds rigidity here as well, which is a great feature to have. And say in the test, it's not only lightweight, but there's no flexing here in the forend as you may have in a laminate, or you're swelling up in cold weather, or in wood you may smell, and it causes a change in the barrel channel here, and may affect the harmonics of the barrel if it touches. No problem in the Crest, absolutely neutral, non-moving, and a great platform to actually put the barrel action into. Actually, talking of which, if I'm talking about the barrel action, there's no actually bedding material here. If you can actually see, we took it out, and there's no pillars where the stock screws are, and there's no bedding material around the recoil lug here, or any of where the stock comes through. But as you'll see in the test, we saw in the test, it was incredibly accurate. So who am I to say that you actually need bedding? It works on this system, so why bother? Length of pull, as with the Wilderness, is a little bit short for me. This is 13.75. But I'm sure you can put a spacer in the back here, and it's got a nice soft squidgy recoil pad, which is very nice. And as you said, it's a light stock, and when I take it off and we actually weighed it, it's only 900 grams, which is you know, a good weight. It's not the lightest on the market, but it's a good weight to have. Okay, now let's go and have a look at the action. This is your traditional and very popular Bergara B14 action. It runs on a typical opposed twin locking lug system, and that gives you a 90-degree bolt lift here. Yeah, which is great, nice and traditional, but it's very, very smooth. A very nice, easy to operate, and just simple action. Sometimes you just want that. You don't want any sort of fancy bits and pieces. The only thing they have done a bit fancy here is they do have a fluted or spiral fluted bolt with the insets here in black, which is just a nice little feature, which is a good thing to have. You have a sliding extractor, which gives really positive extraction as well, and quite good on the primary extraction. And the tapered bolt head as well, or the coned or tapered bolt head, whatever you want to call it, does give a smooth transition into the the abutments here into the action. So the whole transition from cartridge to the chamber is very, very smooth, and it's really is nice. Also on the metal parts, you've actually got a sniper grey Cerakote, so that complements the carbon fibre very nicely, and it makes all the metal parts very, very weatherproof. Bergara have gone the drilled and tap route, so rather than actually fitting a scope rail here, you can actually fit any scope mounts you want. I've put here a Ken Farrell 20 MOA. I use it on a lot of bench rest rifles and long range shooting. Fits absolutely perfectly and gives a real stable platform here for this really nice Steiner scope, to be absolutely honest with you. Looking further back, the bolt handle here is just traditional sort of semi-tactical. It's grooved here with a nice little taper on it, sort of teardrop. Cocking indicator here at the back, so it gives you a nice visual and tactile indication that the action is actually cocked. And then here, I actually really like it. It's just a simple right-handed fitted sliding safety on, couple trigger, but you can still operate the bolt, which is nice, and then forward, and you can fire. Simple as that. Trigger wise, they have their own type of trigger. It's a Remington 700 lockup here into the action if you want to. You can exchange it, but I wouldn't bother. I mean, it is adjustable from 1.5 to 3.5 pounds, but when we tested it on the Lyman gauge, it was developing, I think it's 2 pounds and 4 ounces, which when we took it out after Chinese water deer, it was actually perfect. You don't want it any lighter than that, and you don't really want it any heavier. So, you know, we give them some longer shots. It just gives that. There's no take up, single stage, and you're gone. It's absolutely fantastic. Sensibly, this is a really nice feature as well. Bergara have actually put a here on the mag release, and that's an AICS compatible mag, and that is actually a five shot single stack magazine, all polymer, so it won't rush. You can put it anywhere you like. Really, really nice. It feeds totally reliably, but to release it, you've got this fantastic double ambidextrous release catch here on both sides. So it's a nice feature. A lot of rifles you test have a smaller inset push here, or they're actually in on the magazine, which is quite good. But this you can actually access from either side of the trigger guard, and it's slightly proud of the trigger guard itself, so it's very, very easy to operate. Really nice system. Okay, so let's go look at the barrel neck. Yeah, one of the best features on the Crest Carbon, not only is the carbon fibre stock, is the carbon wrap barrel. And it's great value for money. I think it's about £1,800 here in Britain, which is fantastic. You know, if you consider you've got a carbon fibre wrap barrel and the stock, it's very, very well, good value. You know, to be honest with you. As you said, this is a 308. You can have options of 20, 22 or 24 inches depending on the calibre you're actually going to use. It's guaranteed sub-MOA accuracy as well with the correct ammunition, which I think is very nice to have. And up front, you're threaded now with the 5H24 or UNEF thread, and you do get a muzzle brake. I must have left that off because we fit sound moderators here. We fit a nice Evolve, which is an aluminium sound moderator, which deadens it very, very nicely and is light. I thought I'd put a light alley moderator on here because otherwise it will compromise the handling quality. And in 308, it's 1 in 10 twist, which is nice. And on the diameter here, it's 21.5mm overall diameter, so it looks like a varmint barrel, but is in fact a slim line underneath with your, and what they call it's a Cure carbon wrap technology. And this basically involves having a carbon or a chrome moly barrel underneath, slimline, and then they interweave a stainless steel mesh and the carbon fibre, so it dissipates heat and then gives you this varmint profile here, so you get the look, but you save about £2 on a normal length barrel of steel of this diameter and length, which I think is very, very good indeed. So you know, heat dissipation is good on this Crest, as you have seen in the tests. We were shooting quite a lot of rounds, and I had no deviation, you know, at all really from the point of impact. We did clean it in between sessions as well, but no, good if you're hunting. Don't worry about it at all. If you're on the range, okay, different factor. If you're shooting, you know, 50, 100 rounds, and you obviously give some consideration to that. So they actually call it cold bore technology, and that micro wrap of the stainless steel, and it does work very, very effectively. And so there you are. And basically, that is your Crest carbon fibre or Crest Carbon, utilising the carbon fibre stock and the carbon fibre barrel. Uses the ultra reliable Bergara B14 action, and as you see in the test, it was very accurate with the factory loads. I mean, those Norma Eco Strikes, I couldn't believe it. They don't normally work well in a lot of rifles. Just goes to show that's why we test it. Worked absolutely beautifully. Shot fantastic at 200 yards, and we shot a Chinese water deer at 165 yards. I'd have no hesitation in owning one of these, and you can go out anywhere and have confidence that it will not only shirk off the weather, it's reliable, it's accurate, and it's a very practical stalking rifle in my view. Well, I hope you liked the review there on the Bergara Crest Carbon. If you do, please like and subscribe, and we'll bring you more content in the future.